Elliot Richards is a friendly loser who frequently loses. He is socially uncomfortable and is not taken seriously by anybody, especially not by his co-workers. Elliot is aware of this, yet he still makes an effort to maintain his friendly demeanor, hoping that his colleagues will step up. Unfortunately, this doesn't produce too much. Hey guys, welcome to our channel, Mystery Recaps. Today, we will recap a 2000 comedy romance movie named A Bigger Splash. To know what happens later, keep on watching the video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. He visits a pub that night where his associates have already arrived without introducing themselves. They make an effort to hide from him. He ignores their impolite behavior, however, and follows along with them, instantly causing them to feel intense annoyance. Ellison enters the room, one of his collaborators. Elliot surprises the group by admitting that he is aware of her little preferences. They encourage him to talk to her by doing this. Elliot gets to know Allison as they have been working together for 4 years at this point. In any event, she has no recollection of him. Also, as he starts to become very off balance, she leaves. When the snooker ball moves towards him, at the moment when he grabs it, Elliot declares that he would do everything to get her all at once. A woman calling him is dressed in crimson. She claims to have heard his wish before scoring each bowl right away. She then drags him outdoors and engages in passionate kissing. Elliot is wary and terrified, especially after she claims to have enormous, disastrous talent. And to top it all off, she claims that she is Satan. She lacks Elliot's trust, so he walks away. He is nonetheless astonished to see her. They are currently wearing a different outfit. Satan places the alcoholic beverage in a car before revealing his most secret moments to him. He cries all night long since he is alone in an empty loft with no one to take care of him. She moves him to create a wish like this repeatedly. Elliot mockingly desires a large Macintosh and a large Coke. By taking him to a McDonald's and having him pay for it, Satan grants the request. Elliot starts to grow agitated at this point. She offers to drive him in her sports vehicle. She brings him to a late-night bar where she says everyone cries when they see him. To capture pictures of Elliot inside, they press against one another. Every single lady needs him for herself. She brings him to her office, where she also demonstrates her red male version to him, but only after Elliot learns more about God. She becomes frustrated by the fact that everyone always seems to know about him. She quickly convinces him that she would grant him 7 desires in exchange for his spirit being turned over to her towards the end. Elliot is hesitant about this, but Satan awakens him by showing him a scene of Allison. Without properly reading it, he signs the contract. Satan then hands him a pager and tells him to dial 666 in case something goes wrong. Elliot's greatest enduring aspiration is to marry Allison and become powerful and wealthy. At that time, he wakes up on a bed not far from Allison and silently rejoices. He ascends to the first floor and discovers that he can speak Spanish. He is quite content with this. He goes to examine his deed and also exclaims how wonderful life is. Allison and her English guide rail appear before his eyes all of a sudden. Indeed, they're too close to one another. Out of animosity, Elliot cuts off his mustache. His subordinates inform him that the project has been ongoing for a considerable amount of time. Elliot then starts yelling at Allison while saying this. She hollers back at him, declaring how disgusting and hateful she finds him. Before he can react, she starts throwing objects at him at that moment. His men phone him and report that there is a problem at the factory. He is frightened when he realizes the plant is home to his very own army. When he sees his item for the first time and realizes that it belongs to a Colombian pharmaceutical king, Rael appears and takes charge of everything. Indeed, even his own soldiers have flipped. He escapes in a chopper as they all try to murder him and looks for Satan's pager. He drops it, runs after it, and then presses 666. He rides a car into America. Satan is enforcing the traffic laws there. She mentions that Elliot never asked Allison to love him back, since they have no idea what kind of man Allison wants. Before departing, she offers to take him to her room. She changes the traffic lights, causing every car to smash into Allison's room. Because, to Satan's cunning, Allison is reading her diary as she gets out of the shower. Neither Allison can see them nor feel them. Satan has an understanding of that. Allison liked deep and tactile males. She even acts as though she is more upset than usual over the obvious choice. Elliot wants Allison to appreciate him there, and for him to be the most really gentle man. The sun is just setting on an ocean side, and everything is sincere. Elliot says and does a lot of ridiculous things, like preparing her a vegetarian salad and sobbing in the dark. Similar to that, just as they are about to kiss, Satan appears to annoy them. Elliot starts waxing lyrical once more about the dolphins, Allison's hair, and the desk. She is trying to communicate with him, but he keeps interfering with her with his tears all at once. They were tar-sanded by 3 muscleheads who approached them. Elliot bashfully asks them to go. Does Allison feel comfortable to join them for a few drinks in their van? Tell us your thoughts in the comment section. With them, Allison gladly departs. Let Elliot know that he is just too sensitive and that this makes him very annoying. She just needs qualities that make a man strong in this way. At dusk, Elliot somberly pushes the number 666 and sobs once again. Elliot screams at the devil. In spite of everything, she lashes out and claims that no one appreciates her job. He stands by her. They reconcile too. Elliot creates his ideal future self as a powerful, knowledgeable musclehead. He aspires to play basketball at a high level. He appears on a basketball court and completely dominates the competition. He is solid, almost 7 feet tall, and very terrific. Even the demon is pulling for him when he gives a meeting, speaks simply, and doesn't understand most of what the questioner is asking. The discovery of it is not, by any means, particularly smart. Allison approaches him later in the storage area and asks for a limited meeting. She gives out enough of coquettish cues, so it makes sense that she has her sights set on him. She is welcomed here by Elliot. However, she concedes that he had already made that clear. They witness his love at stake. It's compact. That is essentially not feasible. With that, he is adjusting her. Allison quickly comes up with a justification for leaving and traveling somewhere. Elliot pulls out the pager right away. He is so incredibly dim-witted that he even needs to write down the number 666. He appears at an emergency room where the patients are being treated with desserts rather than medication. He asks to be smart, appealing, and loved by everyone. He comes up for a posh gathering. Everyone there respects the depth and sophistication of his works. As Allison sees his books, she approaches him. They talk to one another while having a good time. He takes her into his position after that. Amazingly, though, his significant other is still waiting for him. Gay Elliot is. He rejects this truth by kissing Allison when he no longer feels excited since he is unable to accept it. He is aware that Satan used this strategy to manipulate him once more. He presses 666 again, insisting that should work on something for everyone this time. He asks to head the United States. In order to fulfill his ambition, Satan transforms him into Abraham Lincoln on the day of his passing. He makes an exit. In any event, his employer won't permit it. Similar to Elliot, he pushes 666 as he is about to be slain. Satan appears on his back screen as he returns to his organization. She claims that since his most vivid want for a Macintosh and a Coke also counts, he now only has one wish. Elliot visits a church after being perplexed by the fallen angel's escape provisions. Elliot tells the preacher there that he genuinely wants to have this kind of dialogue with God. The priest offers to tune in God's location. Elliot informs him of all that has happened. In response, the minister contacts the police at the police station. He tries to convince them of what happened, but it is obvious that they don't believe him. Satan is the one to take him there and put him in the enclosure, so he is safe. She advises him to make use of his last remaining urge to flee. One more prisoner is now being held within the cell. When Elliot claims to have sold his soul to Satan, everyone's spirit has a home with God, the guy grins. Simply said, Satan is trying to entangle him. He will make mistakes, but he has to use both his heart and mind. God will also accept him. Elliot asks the stranger what his name is, and he replies that he's just an old friend while flashing an enigmatic smile. When Elliot is laid out, he spends the entire evening reflecting deeply. He visits Satan's club the next day. Even though everyone there is substantially older than they ever were, they are all happy. He enters Satan's office and informs him that he will not act on his most recent wish. According to the pact, Satan claims he has a time restriction. Whatever the case, Elliot remains unwavering. He would prefer not to fulfill his every request. What do you think would lead Elliot to this conclusion? Let us know in the comment section. He has worked out how to make the trip end quickly. At this, Satan pretends to become enraged and attacks. She reveals her true evil plan and warns him that she would murder him if he doesn't make a wish. Elliot hopes Allison leads an abundant life. Satan dumps him and groans in displeasure. Elliot is roused in a typical setting. Satan informs him that the agreement will really be nullified since he is one who is truly selfless and generous, and that is why his spirit is safe with him. He enthusiastically rejoices since he didn't read the agreement. Thus, he wasn't genuinely aware of it. At that time, he queries Satan as to why. Overall, she is really polite to him. Satan informs him that both heaven and hell exist on the globe. Elliot handles the situation with maturity and accepts the firing politely at his workplace. His associates make fun of him. A panicked Elliot grabs one of them. They all hold him in high regard. No, when he gets back to his house, he notices the existence of a second neighbor. She also has a striking resemblance to Allison. She goes by Nicole. Nicole receives help from Elliot moving in. As they spend more time together, they eventually start dating. God is probably playing chess with Satan. Naturally, the devil is being dishonest. So guys, that's it for today. Check out this video on the screen to watch this amazing movie recap. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell icon to never miss any exciting movie recaps.